Over the lake. Roger.
Your runway or rearm? Actually, I think I might repair as well. I've got a little bit of damage. I might repair.
I just rearmed. The BTRs to the east of the airfield are gone, and onto the shulkers that are further out.
Copy that.
Request repair.
Oh, they can't hear me. I didn't open the window.
Request repair. Copy. Request rearming. Copy. Rearming complete.
Okay, my flaps won't go up yet because the engines aren't running, so I must remember to do that once I've got the engines running. Put the flaps to take off, which is between about 10 and 30 on that flap gauge. Actually, I chose the wrong rockets. I don't want the armour piercing because I'm usually going to use them for personnel because of the blast pattern knocks them out rather than having to actually hit them directly with bullets. So I think I'll change that.
Request rearming. Copy.
But they should change to the other type.
Rearming complete.
Okay. We'll just go with these then. I felt sure they look different. These have got the that silver marking on it. I thought these were the armour piercing ones, which I don't need for personnel. But that apparently is not the case, so I'll just assume that I got that wrong and we'll just stick with this. Okay, engine start and set flaps. Hello. Oh. No, hello. I didn't ask them to run starter.
Run the starter. Copy.
Yep, roger that. Your mic's gone a little bit low again. Right.
Okay, I hit a pylon, hitting the last couple of infantry down there by the bridge, but all in all, a couple of good sorties just then.
Request rearming. Copy. Rearming complete.
it is. F-18. Well, with nothing else doing, I might as well make a turn. shut that noise up. I think I'm going to see about mapping for flaps, because it's annoying that I've got to lose everything, let go, grab the mouse to do the flaps in flight. I don't want to do that. I want to use a little button that I've got on the throttle unit. So to do that, I've got to drop away from DCS briefly anyway. No, I haven't got a command for it in target software either. That's a bit odd. I'll try mapping it as a button, but I don't think it sees it. No, it can't see it. So I've got some mapping to do in this. Well, I've got to set commands in the software for this stick to send left control F or left shift F to put the gear put the flaps up or down. See, that one it detects because it's on the stick, but the stuff on the throttle unit a lot of it tends not to get picked up. It's really annoying. So I'm gonna have to tell the software, the target software for the stick on throttle, to send left control F or left shift F when I push my China hat here in an appropriate direction to get the flaps up or down. I don't know if I can do that very easily while I'm here. I don't know if I can actually adjust stuff. Let's see if I can. So control is up and shift is down. Let me see. Now I think I have to come out of all this to actually make an adjustment in target. Because I've got to come out of the profile, I think. I don't want to do that. Don't test and device analyzer. You can't see what I'm looking at, but I'm looking at stuff to do with the software for the stick. But I don't think I can't do anything about this. I can only do it when I'm not actually flying, I guess. That's a nuisance. Okay, so I've still got to click my lever for now. Oh, I should have been asking for repair during that time, shouldn't I have done it?
Request repair.
And sure enough, look, I've got the rockets. I neglected to get bullets.
Request rearming.
Oh, and they're not going to do any of those things because I didn't open that window.
Request repair. Copy. Request refueling. Request Copy. Rearming. Copy.
Maybe
refueling complete.
Got stuck or something. Like they've refueled me. I still had rockets left. Should have used them.
Rearming complete.
Actually, whilst I'm getting rearmed, I should repaired. I should have taken the chance and taken advantage and gone for a comfort break. I'll be back very soon.
Bit switch, right. That's are you in a position to do the ever go at the radio thing, or you in the middle of something else? Yeah, so I reckon if you pick any airfield on the map, and now I have noticed that there are a couple of airfields of very similar frequencies. So Mosdoc has got an outer marker of 1.06 megahertz, and Beslan has got an outer marker of 1.05 megahertz. So it's very easy to get confused as to which one you're hearing when you're right on top of them. You're right on top of one of them already. So if you have a scan around for an airfield that's got a moderately distinctive frequency compared to this airfield, and then I will keep my head down and I'll attempt to use the in-game radio or the in-aircraft radio to locate the signal, and I'll see if I can get you a bearing on it.
Well, there's Mineraldi Vogdi, which is some way to the west northwest, I think, of the airfield of Nosdok.
I didn't catch that, but if you don't tell me the information, and if all you tell me is the frequency of one of the markers.
Okay, it's just that I was looking at the distance, that's all. It might take a while to fly there, but okay. I'm going to give you 1.18.
Okay, I got to get into your aircraft first, so bear with me.
Yeah, copy that. Copy that. So Lexor now will leave his helicopter and jump here. Unfortunately, it doesn't show him there in the same way it doesn't show me here. I have to move the chat window. The accept window to accept someone getting into your aircraft just happens to be just in the same place as my chat window. I think Lexor is now in the aircraft, although we can't see him, of course. You might see him put the seat down, I don't know. I'll check on internal because we can talk to each other on internal.
124, or intercom, as you said.
Yeah, I'm getting you on internal.
Okay, you don't appear in the cockpit for me, which is a little bit confusing.
No, I don't think they do. I can't see you. I don't think you see me as a pilot ever in this, do you?
Oh right, for some reason I thought I remembered seeing you sat there last week, but maybe not.
No, you might have seen from the outside. From third person view, you do see the pilot and co-pilot. When you're in the aircraft, we can't see each other.
Right, okay.
So we're talking 1.18, yeah?
1.18 megahertz.
Copy that.
Okay.
So Lexor has put the back down so he can access all this stuff.
it's really difficult getting an angle with head on the.
You broke up then. An angle on the what?
It's really difficult getting an angle on the radio because you need to put your head basically where the seat flaps down. You need to put your head there, but with Tracker R, it doesn't let you move your head around. It just lets you rotate it on your body.
Yeah, I get that. When I want to adjust my rudder trim, to get the rudder trim in view, if I'm on Zoom especially, is awkward. But what you've got there, I think, is more awkward. What have you just turned on?
So on the back panel with those coloured dials, there's a black selector switch and a switch that to standby.
Okay, yeah, the black select switch. Yeah, go on.
And then in the front, there is if you look to the co-pilot, there's what looks like a brass tap, like a solid disc tap. And there's a...
Oops, not seeing that.
Okay, well, look to where the co-pilot is. There should be a yellow blinking light.
Yellow blinking light. Oh, sorry, yeah, you're talking about... the co-pilot seat. Yep, okay, I've got that.
Right, so I've turned that yellow blinking light on, which is the switch that's next to it aft. And the two silver switches to the left of that switch that turned on the light, I've switched those to the down position.
Yeah, copy that.
So there are three radios effectively. There's your radio, which is... there's the transmitter, which is the T1154, and then there's the receiver, which is what I'm going to be using, which is the T1155.
Okay,
RL.
those two switches you said that are forward of the transmitter type are F. Only one of them is on.
And naturally, I can't see the other one to turn it.
Okay, well I can turn.
What about now? What about now? No, you can't.
No, I can't. No, you've turned one off. They're both off at the moment. That's it. The forward one is on.
Right, so now they're both in the down position.
I can't see the second one. The one closest to the transmitter switch, that one I can't see as being on. It looks as though it's off for me, but it's probably just a graphic thing, I guess.
Maybe. I don't know. It's in the downward position, but the opposite position is that.
Yeah, I'm not seeing any movement on that switch at all.
Right, fair.
That must be a graphics thing from the pilot point of view, mustn't it?
Yeah, potentially, yeah. Right, so what I'm going to do next is on the receiver radio. There are multiple coloured bands, and the coloured bands reflect to refer to corresponds to frequency ranges. So you said, I can't remember, 118. I'm not sure if you're either on DCS or pressing the right button.
Yeah, I was pushing the wrong button. Yeah,
1.18, right, so for 1.18 megahertz we need to use the black middle frequency band. So we turn, which is the 15, no, was it? 600 to 1500 kilohertz range, which means we have to.
I'm not sure where you're looking because I can't see that. I can't see anything there. The frequency range.
Can you see the face of the transmitter box that's behind your seat?
Yeah, there's the white panel with all the figures on it. There's a black switch below that. Is that what you mean?
No, there's a unit immediately behind your seat.
Oh, well, the seat is folded back, so I can't see that.
No, immediately behind your seat.
Sorry, behind my seat. My apologies. Because I'm looking at the seat, I'm thinking it's mine. Right, hold on, I've got to spin around the other direction. You see the power plug. No, the seat is in the way, I think, for me to see everything.
Yeah. I could stream it into Discord potentially. I'll just mute in Discord, or we could use Discord for radio.
Hold on, let me just see if I can move that. I'm zoomed in, so if I zoom out again, let's just try this. Hold on. Right, are you talking about the big, effectively radio box with two handles, which you would use to put it in place, directly behind my seat? If you're talking about that, yes, I see it.
Okay, so on the tuning face, you've got multiple coloured lines, and they represent different wavelength ranges.
Okay, well I won't be able to see those numbers, but you can see them from the radio operator's point of view, from that seat.
Yeah. So what it is, so once you've identified what frequency you're looking for, and you've identified what frequency range you're going to look for, you then have to select that range on a black selector switch to the left side of the unit. Which in this case we're going to be using the 600 to 1500 kilohertz range, which is in the straight up position, and then we have to tune the radio to that frequency.
The radio that's behind my seat. So
Yeah, so I don't know if can you hear something coming across the radio now?
yeah, and you get a background noise from the radio.
Okay, so we wanted, what was it, 1.1.
Yeah, 1.7. Yeah, I'm getting Morse code. Well, I was.
Oh, that's interesting, because I didn't hear Morse code at all. Interesting, because all I'm hearing is a buzz.
That's all I'm hearing now. That's what it seems to be coming and going.
Right, well in that case, that might just be a distance thing, but that's fine. Because what I can do now is there's another black switch on the right side of the radio unit, a 5-position selector switch, and if I turn that to the visual switch, I can then turn this loop aerial that hangs down in the back of the cockpit to a point where I can either hear it or not hear it. Okay, So what I've done now is I've used the omnidirectional setting to find the frequency in the first place, and now I've turned it all the way to the right to the symbol on it, which you probably can't see because I can barely see it, but it's a figure 8. And what that means is that's the figure 8 depicts the wave pattern of the antenna. So if the loops, if the signal is, if the face of the circle is facing the signal, then it will be strong, and if it isn't, it will be faint.
Yeah, okay, get that.
And then I can use an aural sense switch, which listens to like the left side or the right side to see which way it is facing, and if I'm trying to think how I'd work out which is right. Yeah, so it's a little bit of see how it feels, but hang on a second.
Yeah, I see you move very well.
So right now we hear nothing. So I know then that the signal is either off to our north somewhere or off to our south. Because if I now turn the loop so that the circle is facing one of those two directions, it gets loud. So it's kind of...
Just back that way, not north.
No, but the background noise is louder when it's in this direction than in that direction, because we can't hear anything.
Yep, get that.
And the Morse code is it's a sequence that pauses and then repeats. So there will be like dead points in the signal.
Okay, I was trying to get the radio back. Yeah, go on, I think I do.
And what I can do now is, now that I know that it's either in front of us or behind us, I can use this aural sense left and right switch. And if I put it to the right, you'll hear the background noise get a bit louder. And if I put it to the left, it goes silent. So that tells me what side of the transmitter we're listening to, although I'm not entirely sure how to work that out based upon which way around the circle is facing, because there doesn't seem to be a distinctive face to like say this is left and this is right.
That's probably just a case of getting used to it.
Actually, no, maybe one side is slightly different to the other. If only I could remember which way round it was to begin with. I think it was on 0 at first. That way. Oh, it's really awkward to use the switch as well. So we're now pointing at 90 degrees. Well, compass bearing of is 90 degrees relative to us. So if I then hit using the aural sense, if I then listened to the left, I would be able to, and it was on our left, we would be able to hear it. And if I then moved it to the right, we wouldn't be able to hear it because we would listen to the other side of the antenna. So if I assume that see, there's also two rings of degrees as well. So 90.
I think they're going back to the code, aren't they? Those two rings, like 90 0.
So 0. Yeah, it's 90 degrees. Yeah, so the 90 degrees and the 0 is I wonder. I don't know if what depicts left and right. That's the problem. I would say it's. Sorry.
Okay, what are you using multiple layers to turn that loop area? Is there a knob somewhere that you're playing?
Or you can click and drag your mouse up and down.
Oh, okay.
There might be a handle that does it, but it would be almost impossible to use the handle and look at the aerials.
Yeah, I understand that. From where I am, I'm actually breaking the net to look around at the radio that they're using on the loop area. I solved that. I put the track IR on pause when it was in the right place.
Yeah, that's what I have to do as well. Now I can hear them. It was very brief, but
You're falling off the field a bit there, I think.
yeah, I keep forgetting to keep my key pressed. I heard the Morse code. Very brief. Now I can hear it actually. Yeah, I've just tuned it. So that's a beacon that we're hearing somewhere. I'm still trying to work out how to tell what direction it. Marking it on the rings below the loop? You mean above? Yeah, so... But I don't know which side of the antenna we're listening to. Now, given that... So it's either going to be around 130, 140 degrees. Or around 320, 330. I would say maybe 305 degrees-ish. Yeah, so get on a bearing of 305, and then, because what I can do now, there's another gauge. So this is audio tuning of the thing. If you look at there's a gauge next to your slip indicator, to the right of your slip indicator. It's got an L and an R to either side of a central line and two needles that appear to be pointing outwards.
I've got side slip indicator,
Yeah, but if you look to the right of that gauge, there is another gauge with left and right on. So if I now change the tuning mode of the radio, you'll see those needles. Now, if I remember rightly, that means, because it's on the left side, it means it's to the front. Which means 305 was about right. Was it? Not 305, sorry, 350. So yeah, what you can do is when we get in the air, instead of using the ears to follow it, once we are flying in a straight line, I then get another lock on the signal, and I can, when it's pointing in the right direction, that gauge will tell you if those needles are not crossing in the middle, you're off course. Yes, I think so. Okay, I'll turn the volume of it down a little bit.
Well, it doesn't matter about MA at the moment, but I think I've got it. Right, okay, let's get started. Hold on a minute. I'm not sure if you hear these commands though. If I ask them to run the starter, do you hear that? But no, you can't.
Apparently not, if you've done it already.
No, I haven't, but I'll do it.
Run the starter. Copy.
I'm guessing you didn't hear that.
No.
Okay, not to worry. Okay, I think we're good to get started as it happens.
I'd be interested in if it was possible to do the gunning. Sorry, not gunning, the bombing from this seat. Like if there was a bomb site. I don't think there is though. Oops. No, I opened my window, but did it open yours as well?
Oh, no, I didn't. No, I thought I clicked accidentally and opened your window. So your window's open now.
Alright.
Thought I did it accidentally. I'm kind of out of sequence, so I'm just trying to get my head around whether I've done everything I need to. I think I have. So, yeah. Oh, we could take off in either direction, I suppose, but I think there should be enough to take off in the direction that we're facing.
Right. Yeah, I'll go till 2 layers.
Oh, crikey, yeah, okay. Right, okay.
Yeah, I might need to realign the aerial to get us another lock. To the left of your slip. Well, for me, yeah, see, look at those needles. That's not bad. So that gauge is going to go dead for a second when if you let me know when you're ready. When I switch it back to the waveform mode, so that I can check left and rights and tune the head. Doesn't help that it's not a constant. Doesn't help that it's not a constant signal. Okay, that sounds really loud. So that now looks like it's a heading of 291. Oh, no, it's too far. No, hang on. Okay, let me listen to the radio again, hang on. It's reached the end of its cycle, I've got to wait for it to we're going roughly the radio. I can't hear anything. Oh, now. Yeah, that's odd. I mean, it says this hit. Interestingly, yeah, I was thinking it's louder when I put it to the right, which kind of hints at it being behind us, but I don't fully know how to use that left, right, or sense to know what side of the antenna that I'm listening to. But it's suggesting it's around 280 around like the 280, 290. Even if the needles don't agree, that's where the sound appears to be coming from. It's not impossible that the gauge doesn't fully work, I don't know. No, so ignore that gauge then, just stay on the 280. 240. We just kind of move. Yeah. 240, 245 sort of thing. Does that put us in a vaguely correct heading for where you had? No, I mean based on the marker that you chose. Okay. I'm trying to think, maybe that is a 260 relative from us. No, well, I'm not saying turn to 260, but it's. I'm hearing it strongest at 260. Okay. Which, yeah, that's sort of. But I kind of expect that. Yeah, so if 290 was in front of us, then I don't know. Wouldn't that mean that if we were facing a different direction, that the antenna would read a different bearing? Yeah. I was kind of expecting it to be relative to us, but maybe it is relative to North. Okay, so yeah, and you are going to get a little bit of it's like old autopilots on boats. It would look at where it wants to be and go off in that direction, but then after a while it would look again and it was off to the other side because the pole rate of am I going in the right direction was a relatively low frequency. So instead of it being a straight line, if you traced it out on a map, it would actually be like a sine wave because it sort of veers left and right of its actual destination. So I'd imagine that's similar to what we've got here, is where we're going to get a little bit of variance either side of the line. We're never going to get an exactly straight line. Oh, it's distorting a little bit. Well, I think it might have worked to a small degree. Yeah, with some sort of fencing around it as well. Although the inner and outer ones, I think, are maybe one is smaller than the other. But in either case, there's probably. I wasn't expecting the distortion that we. Oh, there. No. get a blast from it a few moments ago, but not since. Yeah, I did just get a blast from the Morse code again. I don't know if you heard. So it says 220-ish. Well, that does suggest it's over to the left this time. Oh yeah, I can see the wrong one. Yeah. Yeah, it says... Yes, I seem to be reading 230. I'll have to look closer at what the ring colours. Was the original heading that I gave you that was roughly right? So if it was something, so if this signal was leading us to something obvious, I reckon we would be able to find it, wouldn't it? must be at mineral body or whatever. Watch out for the MI8 at the end. Right, and so we were listening to one of them. So we must have been listening to what, the outer marker. Right, so. Oh, that was the airfield. That was the airfield beacon. No, 117. Where did you get 118 from? No, it's 118 megahertz. But if you get, well, if I look on the map, the outer marker for this airfield is 583 kilohertz. The inner marker is 283 kilohertz. But the airfield, right, I don't know what that is 117.1. Oh, MN. I don't know what MN is, 118. So it's 117.1 megahertz, and then MN 118, whatever that means. Right, but I don't know what that is exactly. I don't think that was an outer marker, I just think it was a beacon for the airfield. I wonder if they've all got that. Well, I'm wondering if it was, it's just that sorry, words. Yeah, what on earth are those on the airfield behind us? Yeah, just behind us on the taxiway. Yeah, but they shouldn't be there. They're not marked on the map either. even seen those before. I'll have to have a look on the actual mission editor to see if they're items but not appearing. Like if they're replacing dead aircraft or something, I don't know. But I've never even seen that model before, let alone. How bizarre. Their spacing sort of looks like they should have been an aircraft. Yeah. But they look like the sort of thing that I would have placed, but I don't recall placing those. And when an aircraft gets destroyed, we don't get those containers, we get the square ones. How odd. Yeah, flammable. It's a flammable solid. I think it says flammable solid. I sort of moved the camera, so I'm on an external camera, but I've shunted it around. Yeah, how close I can get. No, I can't move it down any further than that. If I come out this way. Oh, every time I get close enough to it to read it, I can't move the camera down. Where's the next one out? That way. I don't think, no, there's too many words. Too many letters, I think. Yeah. No, it looks like, because I'm on like F2 camera, the external camera, so I've rotated it around and then zoomed in a little bit, and I can see it looks like it says flammable solid. Well, if you go onto the external camera, you can move around with the mouse. Oh, stop. I can't, I've lost angle on it now. No, it's marginally too close, I can't see it now, but I can't get a shot of it properly. Hang on, if I take a screenshot of that, I'll send it over to you. I'll paste it. I think the server's having a bit of a problem because we just skidded sideways briefly and then. You're off DCS, so you won't be transmitting. Well, I better leave it there. Yeah, and it's given me a little bit of license to exercise an idea that I've got. Yep, should be. Alright, and take care.
That's it, powered down to get rid of the background radio noise. Right folks, we will be flying again next Friday. Every chance we'll do something like this again on Friday, just to sort of lock it into place and perhaps improve on it, because there were things that didn't work, and as I say, that gauge there unfortunately didn't seem, it gave the first impressions of working, because these lines did move, but they didn't move when I changed course, which they should have done to show that I'm getting onto course or off course again, whatever. Okay folks, I'm going to go now then. Thanks for being here, and I'll catch people maybe next weekend. Take care. TTFN.